Hello everyone and welcome to another stream here in Togores MTG. Today we are doing the modern tier list. 2 days ago was the banned and restricted announcement. Nothing got hit. I was waiting to this day to do it. We're first going to look into the list of last month, being Amulet Titan in the first and best deck, and then Belcher, Gorgios, Energy, Tron, and Prowess. This has changed a bit, not a lot, but a bit. So we will go into see the last 30 days of modern metagame win rates, which you have with the about high player decks. The best deck is Amulet Titan. Only they don't have bad matchups. They has like in Tameshi Belcher a bad one, and in Esper Reanimator a medium to bad one, but the rest is quite good. Really surprised that they did not hit something out of Amulet, but they're probably hitting it the next February. So Amulet Titan still the best deck, and then follow it by probably Jeskai Blink. Affinity still has a great win rate, Boros Energy too, and Jeskai Blink has a decent matchup, like rounding the 50 to 60, like most of them is 50%, but there are some 60 there, which is quite high. So probably, where is Philia? Philia. I had a Philia here. So Philia in second. Right now it's Affinity on third. Okay, yeah. This is gonna be Affinity for now. And Boros Energy on fourth place. On that, for me, will be the tier 1 decks. And then there's a lot of tier 2 decks coming in. Like Blue-White Control Not. So where do we have Prowess, Su? What I'm searching? Gorgios. Where is Gorgio? Pretty sure I had a Gorgio here. Here. Gorgios, Domain, Reanimator, Prowess. So Prowess, Reanimator, Domain, and probably Tron on fourth. Still, the Tron matchup is so bad for the Amulet Titan matchup is so bad for Tron that you probably have no real hope. I'm gonna put this down because those decks are non-existent right now. And then from play rate and win rate, I'm probably missing Overlord. I can add Overlord here. Okay, this is gonna be Esper for now. Esper Blink, Blue Chief, Belcher. Belcher has fallen off on favor a lot after the PT. Not a lot, but something. And then probably Storm still there, surviving. Storm. The Ritual deck is also, I think it's one of the best tier 3 decks. And then probably Neoform. Here comes the Frog. Neoform is probably somewhere here. This tier is a bit, and then probably the rest of the decks they exist, but Eldrazi Aggro exists, Sam Combo exists, and the rest are probably non-existent. Living End exists, Yaman Fixed Burn doesn't exist, Mill exists. So probably those are the decks that exist, and then Merfolk. Someone plays Merfolk, but yeah, I think the tier list will be something like this. So resume. Amulet Titan best deck for sure. Your deck has probably to be one of the few decks that beats Amulet Titan. Not many, Esper Reanimator 48%, but I think this. Where does it move? This is not. Ruby Storm beats it, Simic Ritual beats it, Mill beats it, Tameshi Belcher. So you have probably to play one of the tier 3 decks that beats Amulet Titan, but you're not gonna beat them by playing one of the top dogs of the format. So yeah, I guess this is you beat Amulet or you don't beat Amulet, and that's something. Then the rest of the decks have Jeskai is one of the best decks on average. This is like probably 75% of the field is. I move. Oh, I can move with the cave with the tastes. So Jeskai Blink has Jant Plus metagame, like it probably beats all the nonsense, and then it's probably the second best deck. So I would expect to play against Amulet Titan and Jeskai Blink a lot. Is it Prowess? has not great matchups, like not over 50% in any of the tier 1 decks, but the deck is still the most played, which I don't understand. Like, it's the second most played deck, while its win rate is just not there. It beats Esperphilia, and then it beats the tier 2, tier 3 decks. But for me, it makes no sense to play it with Prowess. Prowess seems a very bad deck versus good decks. Yet the regional championship yesterday had a lot in top 32. But the question is how many of those decks. Metadactyl, you have the Metashare, the Ursiku. Yeah. Okay, I thought it was the Ursi. The Ursiku is different because the Ursiku, all the grinders play it, and you use the Magic Online works on a different level of how Pauper plays. Like on Magic Online, players tend to use decks that win fast, and that if you're a grinder and you play every event, like your day is of playing a lot of tournaments, those players tend to play decks that are fast and you can double queue, and there's just, win or lose, whatever happens, I just want to be able to play more in less time. And Prowess is a deck that's easy to pick up and get lucky, while the other decks, you play grindy long games where time matters so much to you. Yet that tournament isn't time best. It's best if you are playing at another tournament. Maybe you are playing the tournament and the queue. Sometimes I play this tournaments. There was one day I had to do like my bag to go on a travel, like the big classic summer travel when I went with my wife this year, and we were like packing and getting everything ready for 2 weeks of vacation. And then there was a Pauper showcase, and I was like, I can play this tournament, not because I don't have much time, but I just joined by playing the spy combo, the Uppsala spells of Pauper, where my rounds lasted 10 minutes. So I was like, I'm still using my whole day to do what I wanted, but each hour I have one break of 10-15 minutes where I have to play Magic. And that's also something that players value from my point of view. So you still want to play fast decks, and also fast decks are usually easy decks. Like Prowess is very easy, and if you're not a modern player, you are just a classic grinder who wants to spike a tournament, you just say, what is the easiest deck to play of those? Like, if you are not a modern player, what is the deck you pick up? Eldrazi Tron? Those three, probably. And then Jeskai Blink is a strong deck, but you have to know something. Boros Energy is a strong deck, but games go long. You have to know things. Like the approach of Prowess versus Boros Energy on the matchups. Most of the matchups for Prowess is, I want to stop you a bit and kill you. While Boros Energy has, I am the aggro deck, I am the midrange deck, I am the combo deck, I am the big mana deck. So there are different levels of gameplay depending on the matchup, and you have to know them to play Boros. Sometimes Boros goes on easy mode and whatever, but you have to be able to jump on your game plan. While Prowess is, I play my creatures and go for it. With Prowess, you need to know what removal to play around. You need, but you have open deck lists. Mostly, you can know almost anything that you do. Every deck needs to have its things, but for a non-modern player, I think Prowess is an easier deck. You just go there, see what happens, fast rounds, fast wins, win or lose. So I also do that. You have QPs, you have your tournament entry is free. You want to play whatever. You just want to play fast deck, easy time, use your points, maybe get lucky, and then Prowess is probably the best deck. That's also the reason why you go to a format like Pauper, and Mono Red is always one of the most played decks in Pauper, just because this data gets a lot of decks from the leagues, and you go to a league and you play against red decks a lot. Like probably 2 out of each 5 games are against red decks. So why is this? Because those games are fast, those games are easy. While you play a Pauper tournament, it has to be very weird that you play against a 20% burn in a Pauper tournament. There exist those decks, but please play good decks that they enjoy the time. It's also in Legacy. Players on Pauper don't play Upsala spells, because the deck is terrible to play in paper. Your games are mostly a coin flip of 10 minutes, and you have to be waiting there 50 minutes until the rest of the players finish, while your game was not fine. But on Magic Online, it's just, yeah, I will play a league in 1 hour, even less if I have good hands. So going back, so Prowess is not a great deck, but yeah, play it. It has some good matchups in the bottom half. Like, it's like always, if you play against random stuff, your deck is good. And then Esper Reanimator, 50% deck. Good matchups, bad matchups. It's a decent deck. If you get a bit lucky, the deck is good. Affinity is also a medium deck. Like, yeah, your worst matchup is 40%. Your good matchups is 60 or 55. So it's a very good deck, like average plus. But I expect to be working, and if you keep your 6s and 7 card hands, the deck is great. That's always something that they say. If you multi 5 a lot, that's not your deck. Boros Energy, 53%, good deck. I will recommend people playing it. This is literally Junt. You have one good matchup and 52, 51, 48, 49. So yeah, you play against everything. You have game. Domain Aggro, 50%. Yeah. Good matchups, bad matchups, it's fine. Domain Aggro has a small problem of flooding out and sometimes not having enough threats. Eldrazi Tron, yeah, very bad matchups, very good matchups, medium matchups. Yeah, I like Eldrazi Tron. I have a Metafire guide for it. You have bad matchup against the 2 most played deck, which is never a great expectation, but yeah, if I will be able to solve the Jeskai Blink matchup with the 4 Consigna and 4 Charmao, I will be playing that. Like, yeah, okay, you just scrub to Amulet Titan, but you have game against most of the other decks. But yeah, the 2 most played decks and most dangerous decks in the format being bad matchup is not great. Esperphilia, yeah, 49%. Eldrazi Combo, depends how much removal is in the format. Yeah, those are, from here down, are decks that you beat half of the format, you lose to the other format. You just have to get lucky with the matchups and try to predict the meta game. Right, Dredge is not a deck. Like, I know that Mahfuz Van Gogh has got some 5-0s and it has gone up in popularity. There is not a lot of graveyard hate right now, but still think that the deck lacks some kind of gas. Like, no new cards in the last year, so the deck is not doing anything that was not be doing in the past. Like, yeah, Bloodcast, Conflagrate, Cathartic Reunion, Creeping, yeah, Failure Looting is a card. Shriekhorn. They are playing Shriekhorn is like the worst in the world. They have this Phoenix Dredge, which is, I guess, not this. But yeah, Dredge is not a deck. Maybe it's not even here. Also, I didn't speak about Neoform. Neoform is a deck that has 51%. It's not played a lot, but it has a very good matchup. So Neoform is a deck that I will be expecting to face at the RC, because it has good matchup against Amulet, not against Blink, but I think it's not that bad. I think the Blink matchup is not that bad. Decent against, what's this? Prowess. Bad against Reanimator. Like, yeah, decks that play Force of Negation is always a struggle. Yeah, Dredge, 30% win rate, not gonna happen. So yeah, then you beat Prowess, 50% against, this is, I think, Affinity, yeah. Neoform is a strong deck. Probably one of the best ones here. Looking at the meta, Dredge, Living End, and Storm decks are dangerous. Yeah, Storm is there. I have seen someone playing Orim Chant in the main deck, which is a great addition because Orim Chant is in very good position in this meta game. But I don't know. Storm is still troublesome. Force of Negation, Consigns to Memory, Solitudes. Those cards are always very bad. And yeah, those decks are fine. Probably those decks are not playable. So if going in 2 weeks to the European Regional Championship, I will bet that most of the metagame is tier A and tier B. Even if this should not be here. This deck is bad, but yeah, whatever. On play rates, I put a tier. And then you will also face some of those, like on sub 5%. But probably Amulet and Blink are going to be like 12, 13% each, maybe more. I don't expect to be more than 15% each. That is already a lot. And then the rest of decks, like Modern is very open, and if those decks will be very bad in regards to the other, then I will exclude them. But they're still playable, and they are still players who like those approaches and try to win the matchup lottery, which is something that you have to do to win a big tournament. So that's gonna be it. If you like this video, go to my YouTube and subscribe. And yeah, there is a bell that you can ding to get notification when I get a video. And yeah, tell me also your thoughts, because comments on YouTube videos are always great for the algorithm. So that's gonna be it, and bye. On my Metafrail profile, you will find all my competitive Magic the Gathering content. You will get deck and sideboard guides, articles with ideas and analysis, and even the decks I will be playing in my next big tournament. I offer one-to-one coaching sessions to help take your game to the next level. Following is completely free, so hit the subscribe button and keep up with everything I post on metafy.gg.